we thought it would be fun now to take a look at some other managers at the moment who could find themselves in a similar position with a little game of Gone by November, inspired by the Wyclef Jean song Gone Till November. You gonna hit a bar for us?
You're welcome for that one.
Yeah, no, I don't know music.
Can you actually sing it?
I am not going to, but I can.
Dun, dun, dun.
All right, you're the singer, brother.
All right.
And we're going to start in the Premier League with Graham Potter of West Ham. Is this man gone by November? JD, what do you think?
Oh, look, the West Ham hot seat is a very interesting hot seat because it's probably one of those clubs that it's not just about in terms of winning and losing, it's about how you play. And unfortunately, there hasn't been enough fluidity in the way that West Ham have asserted themselves in their style of football on football games, full stop. We could talk about the victory against Nottingham Forest because we no doubt glowing.
First win.
Fresh trim, you know what I mean? We've seen the HD cut, and I know that would at least give him ease and a respite going into this next 2 weeks, but I think it only adds pressure because now the Lucas Paqueta situation has kind of sorted itself out. Jared Bowen doesn't seem to be finding the form at the beginning of the season that he would need. You start to ask questions about this West Ham squad, which then automatically ask questions about the quality of the manager. And I feel, like I said at the beginning, this is a very difficult seat to sit in because the expectations on that club that's put on by their fan base is almost impossible at times. But they expect beautiful football, they expect attacking football, and they expect, whether they win, lose or draw, assert yourself on the game, and he hasn't done enough of that. So I'm thinking it might be a gone by November.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough ask. You look at the schedule coming out of the international break. Spurs, which you never know which side of the pillow they're going to wake up on or go to sleep on. Palace, which is going to be a tough match, although they do have some injury worries. I think Ismaila Sarr picked up an injury for Senegal, so that could change the game. Everton, Jack Grealish, who had a laugh on social media, might have the last laugh. And Arsenal.
That's 3 points for Arsenal.
That's a tough one, but you talk about the goals. You talk about attacking football, dynamic football. One player that could save his job, and what I saw in that match against Nottingham Forest is Callum Wilson. When he was in, Callum Wilson winding back the clock, looking like the guy who got Newcastle to the Champions League, beating a couple players here and there. And the new man, Mateus Fernandez, I think, he's one that's got a bright future, but I'm also looking at their left back in Malik Diouf. He's a proper footballer. So it's a lot of ifs, but it's on this man right here in Graham Potter to put it all together, because one off game in terms of getting a 3-0 win isn't going to be good enough for a club like West Ham.
Hey, Wes, is he gone by November?
How often does he get his haircuts? Probably every 6 weeks, 8 weeks. He'll be gone.
No, he's got to get trimmed early. Once you got a routine.
Hey, listen, he doesn't have a line, so he doesn't have to do that. I think he's gone before his next haircut. That's my point.
I'm looking at that difficult stretch of games that takes him up close to November. I think he's gone by November.
Yeah, it's a hard sell.
All right, let's talk about the manager that Graham Potter beat in his first win, the manager of Nottingham Forest, Nuno Espírito Santo. Is he gone by November? Tough times for a team that did so well last season.
I have to say yes. And the only reason why I'm going to say yes again is because there's an internal battle that's happening right now between, in terms of a technical director in Edu and Nuno Espírito Santo. And I think when you look at that battle, it always has to end up with one person winning. So unless neither individual, knowing both individuals, they're very confident in terms of their approach to the game. So whatever their internal battles, if they can't handle it, it will end in divorce. And unfortunately, the manager is an easier person to get out than a technical director or someone who's leading your sporting direction of your football club. He has done wonders for Nottingham Forest. But I think we've realised in terms of the ownership and the leadership, in terms of from the head all the way down, you're just a number. And unless you fall into line in terms of my direction, the way that I run a football club, you will be shunned out very, very quickly. And we spoke about it. There's an attractive manager right now that's probably getting the flight back.
Baby. Big Ants Postecoglou.
I'm thinking about Jose Mourinho.
Yeah.
You're thinking about
No.
Hey, that was his bro, am I bugging?
No, I think you're spot on. And he's also losing that relationship with the big boss and the man that pays all the bills in Marinakis. And we've seen how ruthless he's been. Think of what happened with Steve Cooper. And different scenario because they're playing European football now, and that was to survive in the Premier League. But he was beloved by Forest fans. The players were starting to play for him, and he just got the machete and said, whack, you're gone. So you're playing for one of the most ruthless owners in the Premier League, and if that relationship is severed between that and the sporting director, your days are numbered. And it's so irresistible, and I don't care what his recent record has been with Fenerbahce. When Jose Mourinho comes calling and says, I want to take the mantle for Nottingham Forest, I know I said Big Ange, but it's hard to resist that call?
It's because of the allure, you know, the quality of players that are going to say, I would love to play. We just seen a clip of Thierry Henry speaking this week, saying the manager that I would have loved to have played for would have been Mourinho. So what does it tell you about the allure that he has in world football still?
All right. Next up, we move to Scotland and Russel Martin of Rangers, who has had a very tough start to the season that included a very embarrassing UCL qualifying loss, 9-1 on aggregate to Club Brugge. West, is he gone by November?
Yes, you cannot be the manager.
He might be gone by the end of the show.
Sitting in 7th, and they've got 4 Europa League games before November. I think he's gone in the next month or so. Rangers is a storied club. We know Scottish football is in a really poor state right now, but Celtic and Rangers, the flag bearers, they have to at least be 1 and 2. If you're a Rangers manager, you cannot be sitting that low in the league. You cannot be getting these kinds of results. I do believe he's gone pretty soon.
I actually disagree. I don't think he will. I think he will get an opportunity to see it out. Because of the style of football that Russell Martin wants to play, he needs a 6 to 12 months. He needs a 6 to 12 months for his team to understand his philosophy. But once it does click, I've seen it in the Championship, you can really revolutionise the team almost instantly. I think there's an embedding process that needs to occur. Whether or not he gets the opportunity to see past November is a different conversation because of the pressure of Rangers. But I do think he deserves it because I've seen the quality in terms of his management. I've seen what he's coaching and knowing in terms of how intense he is on the coaching field especially. If it can work, I can see the vision as to why they hired him, and I think they should stick to that vision. Stick to that vision because it's a club that, you know, it's a 1-2 race in Scotland between Celtic and Rangers. If we're sitting here and we're saying they're 6 points behind, if they start to get to 12 to 15, then we start asking some question marks. But we're still very early in the season. Still a long way to go.
Do you think they're giving them time?
I do believe they will give him time because they have to invest in his project. They have to understand that it's going to take time. And he hasn't technically lost, apart from, of course, in the UCL champion qualifiers. But, like, it's just converting those draws into wins. So can you convert all of that possession, all of that dominance into chances and, of course, most importantly, goals?
Yeah. You'd have to have a plan B that you're confident in.
Yeah, the plan B is who is going to drive him to the airport because I think he's gone by the end of this show. You cannot... no, seriously.
This show is crazy.
This whole emotional breakdown. This is no disrespect. We cover the championship, right? And this is no disrespect to the championship. This is Rangers Football Club. It's a historic club. To get embarrassed, 9-1 on aggregate is unacceptable for a club like Rangers. It's unacceptable. A season ago, they were beating Fenerbahce in the Europa League. To go and have that, his get out of jail free card was a Celtic match in the Old Firm Derby, and they missed their opportunity. It ended 0-0, but go before what happened in the second leg. They drew 1-1 to St. Mirren. Yeah. It's not getting better. That 1-1 and the draw against Celtic, that is not good. It's embarrassing. I'm telling you right now, Rangers, it's embarrassing. Cut your losses.
Russell, I'm trying for you, man. Like, I like the haircut. I like the swag on the touchline. Like, I'm feeling it all, but, like, I'm trying.
Jaydee, let it go. It's over. No. Okay, last one. West, I'm coming to you on this one. Ivan Jurić, Atalanta. 2 draws to start the season, but this is a guy who has not lasted more than 17 matches in his last 2 jobs. He gone. You don't even need to see the rest.
No, he gone. Atalanta are going through a real big period of reconstruction. Gasperini has been their identity for so long. Jurić is such a different manager from Gasperini, and he hasn't had the success that you would like to see coming into a job like this for him to continue success. I think he's gone within the next couple months. I think they also go through another period of change with the next manager. I don't know if that will be the next manager. I think it'll take 3 for them to find the one that they really, really want.
All right, Lahoud, do you agree?
Of course.
My man.